Hello everyone, my name is Ian and you're watching Big Rock Moto. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you're new here and you like this kind of content, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I recently attended the press launch for the brand new Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 Cruiser in Dallas, Texas. And today I'm going to tell you all about the new bike. Royal Enfield's mission statement is to make motorcycles that are engaging, uncomplicated, accessible, and fun to ride. And they're all about the joy of pure motorcycling. So let's cover the specs on the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. The engine, you're looking at a single overhead cam, air-cooled, 4-stroke parallel twin engine, 648cc displacement, 9.5:1 compression ratio. That's hooked into a 6-speed transmission with a chain final drive and a wet clutch. Power output, just under 47 horsepower at 7,250 RPM, and just under 39 pound-feet of torque at 5,650 RPM. Looking at the chassis of the bike, so the front suspension is a 43mm inverted Showa big piston fork, 4.7 inches of travel. Rear suspension, you're looking at twin shocks, preload adjustable with 4 inches of travel. Front brake is a 2-piston caliper, single disc, 320mm with ABS. Rear brake, 2-piston caliper, 300mm disc, of course again with ABS. And keep in mind the ABS is non-defeatable. Tires and wheels, we are looking at a 19-inch front tire and a 16-inch rear tire. That front tire is going to be 190/19 and the rear is going to be a 150/80/16. 59-inch wheelbase, just over 5 inches of ground clearance, and a pretty reasonable seat height of 29.1 inches. Our fuel capacity is 4.2 gallons, and our claimed wet weight full of fuel ready to ride is 531 pounds. Now, let's get into the 5 reasons that I'd personally buy the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 if I was looking for a cruiser motorcycle and I did not want to break the bank. Number 1 is going to be price. The Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 is just $6,999 US for the entry-level single color model, which they call the Astral. Now, if you want the two-tone version, that's called the Interstellar, and that's $7,299. And if you want a fully loaded bike, that's going to be called the Celestial model. It comes with a windshield, a deluxe seat, and a pillion backrest, and that comes in at $7,499. Now, to give you some perspective, for 2024, the cheapest brand new Harley-Davidson you can buy is a whopping $13,500, almost double that of the Super Meteor. And sure, that bike does have a lot more power, but do you really need that? Now, you could get a Kawasaki Vulcan S or a Honda Rebel 500 for similar money to the Royal Enfield, or even a little bit less, but those bikes don't have near the character or the charisma of the Enfield. Number 2 is going to be the warranty. The Royal Enfield Super Meteor comes with a 3-year unlimited mile warranty. This is one of the best in the industry. Many metric bikes come with only a 1-year warranty. It certainly beats Harley-Davidson's 2-year warranty, and it even beats BMW's warranty, which is 3 years but is limited to 36,000 miles. Number 3 is going to be the engine character and sound. Now, being a parallel twin engine, the Super Meteor 650 is never going to have quite the distinctive sound of something like a Harley-Davidson V-twin, but it still has a nice mechanical thrum to it and has a lot more character than the parallel twin offerings from the Japanese brands. Plus, it's fairly quiet, meaning that you won't be a public nuisance like many Harley-Davidson riders are once they change out to those more open exhausts. Number 4 is going to be tech. The Royal Enfield Super Meteor offers great tech considering its sub $7,000 price point. You've got LED lights all around, turn signals, headlights, brake lights, plus you've got Royal Enfield's very cool Tripper navigation pod and a dashboard for turn-by-turn directions. Finally, number 5 is going to be the styling. To my eye, the Super Meteor 650 is one great looking motorcycle. It's got all the right classic lines and looks and feels like a real motorcycle, not a toy. Personally, I don't think you're giving anything up to a brand like Harley-Davidson in the category of styling. My first impression so far of riding the Super Meteor, It's really what I expected, but I'm also pleasantly surprised. You know, this is a fully modernized motorcycle. It has really good suspension, really good brakes. The fit and finish is excellent. It's comfortable. It's pretty. The paintwork is pretty. The gauges work well. This windshield is designed super well. It's an optional extra. The Celestial models have it. You know, you can get this. If I was buying one of these, I'd get the windshield, I'd get the more comfortable seat, I'd get the saddlebags. I'm really impressed so far. And, you know, I've said this before about other modern Royal Enfields, but it has that feeling of just being solid and made of metal, and it's mechanical. You can hear the gear whine a little bit from the transmission. The engine, it's not hugely powerful, but it sounds good. It's not a V-twin rumble like you get from a Harley or an Indian, but it has a sound of its own, and it's nice. Got a 6-speed transmission. Up here on the highway at 65 miles an hour. The bike feels super planted, comfortable. Windshield's doing a great job. The gearing's pretty tall, so you don't have a tachometer, but you don't really need it. You can feel the engine is just very relaxed, even up on the highway. It doesn't feel hurried or anything. It feels super comfortable. This is the difference with the twin-cylinder motor. If you've ridden the Meteor 350 or the Hunter 350 or a Himalayan, put that out of your mind. This is a whole different ball game. So we've been sitting at the stoplight for a long time. One thing I really noticed about this I like is that you really don't get much engine heat, because it's kind of it's not like a super hot running engine, and the exhaust runs down below there, so it's really not bad. It doesn't like roast your legs like a lot of modern motorcycles do. So the cockpit on this bike is pretty good. You've got the high beam switch over here, turn signals, horn. You have a 4-way flashers, which I really like to have. The tachometer is a nice big legible tachometer. Then you've got a gas gauge, you've got a gear position indicator, a clock, a little thing that says if you're being fuel conscious, eco, just indicates when you're at lower RPM. 2 trip computers and an odometer. And then you've got the Tripper app for the navigation, which is a whole separate topic, but it's cool to have that on a bike at this price point, that they're thinking about that. So instead of having to mount your phone here, you can hook your phone up to the Tripper app, and through the Royal Enfield app, you can put navigation right there. So that's pretty handy. I like it. You can feel a small amount of buzziness at around 80 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, but it's not bad. It's not as smooth as a Goldwing or something, you know, but don't expect, I mean, it's a 650 twin cylinder, but the vibes are not bad at all. Just something that you might notice, as opposed to maybe having a cruiser with a larger engine. I'm happy to report the seat is really comfortable. I've been riding all day on the standard seat, and it seems super comfortable, so that's good. Overall, the bike's actually very comfortable for a cruiser. I still don't really like cruisers very much, just because you feel every bump, you know, right up through your spine, and I don't think foot forward controls is really very good, but for a cruiser, this is one of my favorites that I've tested. Other things I wanted to point out about the bike, it is a chain drive as opposed to a belt drive. You've seen a lot of cruisers, you can see that there. Also, this bike comes factory with a center stand, which is really nice for maintenance, doing your chain. If you have to repair a tire, just parking your bike. Really like having the center stand there, so that's really nice. Also, you have adjustable controls. You have adjustable brake and clutch levers for reach. It's a cable clutch. You can adjust the free play there as well. Just the paintwork and the bodywork of the bike, the chrome pipes. You have, I think, some preload adjustment on the rear shocks there. I mean, look at the paintwork and the finish. It's just really, really nice. It's not at all cheap or budget. There's nothing about this bike that really would say, like, oh, this is a budget bike or compromised in some way. And everything is very metal and mechanical, and it's a little bit old school, but it's also modern at the same time. The control position, so it is a forward control, but I do find that it's not too far forward, and I think even for shorter riders it's really not going to be too bad, and I'm fairly comfortable with it, and I'm not really a fan typically of forward controls. The seat height is reasonable, about 29 inches or about 790 millimeters, so it's pretty good even if you're a shorter rider or newer rider. So this here is what they call the Celestial model. It's got the backrest here, a different seat, and you get the windshield and a few other things. So I think this is about $500 more than the base model, and that's probably what I would have. And I'd also probably have this paint scheme right here. I think this looks amazing. A few things I would do if this was my own motorcycle, I would get an accessory exhaust just to give a little deeper tone, a deeper rumble. I'd get a taller windshield, and I'd probably get the saddlebags. But that's about it. I like everything else. But yeah, having a little bit more engine sound. I know this engine can sound good because I've ridden other twin-cylinder Royal Enfields with exhaust and they sound amazing. So that's something I would do. And I do get a lot of buffeting from the windshield at my height. I'm a little bit taller, so definitely get a different windshield for me. Well, we've been riding for a couple hours and I'm really comfortable. The seat's very comfortable. I don't mind the foot forward controls. They're not too far forward. You still have good control. The bike is agile. It's pretty fun to ride. It's pretty peppy for 47 horsepower. It doesn't feel too heavy. The clutch and brakes work well. It's, you know, easy to ride. It's accessible. It's friendly. All the things that I think Royal Enfield was going for. I think they hit the mark, you know. It's funny, you know, I'm from California where we have like this really interesting geography, mountains everywhere, deserts, oceans and all that. I keep looking around here in Texas. I'm like, is there a mountain anywhere around? Maybe there is in some part of Texas. But so I'm riding the bike now without a windshield. I switched bikes with another person here. And yeah, it's way better because the windshield on that other bike, the turbulence was just hitting me right in the helmet and just super noisy and uncomfortable. So for me at my height, it's much better to ride, I think, without a windshield. Although now I'm getting a lot colder because it's kind of cold and I'm going to get bugs and stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with the whole windshield situation. But I think right now what we're doing, like cruising about 60 or 65 on a 2-lane road, that's kind of perfect for a bike like this. I mean, we can go 80 or 90 on the freeway, but the bike's really comfortable on 2-lane highways cruising along. That's really where it feels most at home. So let me know in the comments below, would you buy one of these over a more established brand? Sound off below, and I look forward to having a discussion with you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please ride safe, and I'll see you out there.